Hello everyone, welcome to day 174 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. We're starting as black here. And we get d4, so I'll play d5. We play e3, so I think I'd want to play knight to f6 here. They play c4. I definitely don't want to take, because that would just let them take the whole center. I think I should I could try to hold on to this with c6, which I think is good. It does block this knight in. I don't want to play e6 right now because then this bishop would be very, very weak. I think I'll go for c6 here. They actually choose to push c5, so I think I'll develop my bishop to f5 here. This bishop will be very weak, but I could put it on g7 long term. I will play bishop f5 now, and I think I will play g6. I could go after this pawn right now, although there's no need to move this knight at the moment. I think I'll play g6, bishop g7 and castles, which seems quite good. This does look like a very weak pawn, but I can't really target it at the moment. They just choose to take space on the queen side, so I'm fine with that. I could bring the knight now. I mean, if I bring the knight, I'm threatening to play knight to c2, which would be a fork, but they also haven't developed any pieces at the moment, so I'm not sure what they're doing. But this would be a fantastic square for a knight. I can go here, but then they can just take with the bishop, so I'll just play bishop g7 here. If they ever push this, I'd be able to play queen a5, check. And I think I need to start developing this. Maybe the best move to play is actually b6 here, because if they take, I'd be able to retake and finally develop this knight after pushing c5. So if I go knight to a5, I'm threatening to take, which would threaten a fork. If they trade their bishop off, I'm actually very happy because if I could get my bishop to this square, it would be so powerful. So I might actually play knight a6 here. If they push, I just go to b4. If they take, I'm fine with that. I double my pawns, but that's okay. I can have the open file for my rook. They bring their queen. I wasn't expecting that move. I don't have any ways to attack the queen. I think for now I should just castle. They're not really threatening anything. I can just castle, bring my rook to b8, which could help me push. They actually just blocked their own bishop, so I don't think I should trade off my bishop, my light squared bishop so quickly, but if I could have my bishop here, that would be so good for me. Maybe I play rook b8 here. I'll just slowly improve. I have no idea why my opponent resigned, so let's look at this game. So they played on 88.4, I played with a 91.9. We only played a few moves. It's actually best to strike the center here. How come? Because if they take, I'd have knight to e4. I mean targeting this, also threatening my opponent's side. So e4 is actually a good move here. I played bishop f5. Rook b8 wasn't very good. I should have actually brought my bishop to d3. Like I did think. Having a bishop here would be so good for me. But I play rook b8. I think my opponent had to leave, so they just resigned. Let's find the second game. We're playing as black once more. They play e4. I could play d5, the Scandinavian. But I think I'll just stick to the Caro-Kann. They do play d4, so I'll go for d5. If they push, so do I. If they choose to take, I recapture. They actually play the fantasy. So I know you're not supposed to take against the fantasy. I'm quite sure that e5 is actually a good move against this. e6 looks very weird. I don't like e6. Maybe just pushing seems a good move. Just pushing c5. They can't really take. They take here, I just develop, and it's the same. I think actually pushing c5 is good. I'm not supposed to take. e5 I think isn't that good, so I think I'll actually play c5 here. I can't allow them to have the center. Because if they take on here, I just play e5 and I'm targeting the pawn. They choose to take, but now I can play e5. I'm holding on to the center. I could actually play e6. Because e5 they take. I can recapture, but then they have this pawn. Which I don't like. I think I just go for e5 though. Control the center. Attack the pawn. If they capture this way, I'm happy. If they capture with the pawn, I just take the c5 pawn. They take with the queen. It forces a queen trade, to be honest. I don't have to take, but they're threatening to take this, so I'll go into this. I'll take this bishop on c5. Take the pawn on c5. Next I'll play knight to f6, which looks like the best move. Targets this, brings a piece to the center. Bishop f5 looks nice as well, but I think the knight's more important at the moment. They can't really develop their knight easily. They have a check, but I just block. They bring their dark squared bishop, but now I can just easily attack the center. They play c4, which is interesting, but I don't think it's that good. I can just castle here and put my rook behind the pawn, which looks quite good. This knight's quite stuck at the moment. I could go this way, but I mean, knight here, if I get my knight to b4, I'm threatening a fork. If they choose to trade it off, I have a check. I'll start bringing this knight, I think. They've just locked in their own bishop. I should castle and bring my rook to the e file to line up with the king. Knight b4 threatens knight c2, which they stop. But now their light squares are very, very weak. My bishop here would be very good. I think I'll just go with the plan of rook to e8 and then pushing, which seems very good. With c4 they've kind of locked in their bishop, so I don't think that was a great move. My knight's quite stuck. They actually kick my bishop away, but that just gives me bishop d4, I think. Threatens the rook. They have to play here, I think. Moving the rook is just wrong. So I don't actually have to take. I can just play rook e8. They're not threatening anything. They could push, but then I just bring my knight. If they take, I have a discovered check. So I think next I can... Really, they choose to take, which just seems so wrong. Because I can take with discovered check. They probably have to block. They choose to block with the knight, but the knight is just pinned to the king. So I think that just blunders a piece. That's a terrible move. They can counterattack, but I just have this move. And this knight's now very strong on the dark square. I mean, I'm winning a piece here. I'll just take the piece. I have checks. To take with the knight, I actually have a check. I still have a check now, because the king... Oh, well, if I give a check, they have to go to f1. If they go to d1, I have a fork. The bishop is pinned to the king. If they go here... They cannot go to d1, that'll just blunder a fork. They have to go to f1. I feel like that's a weird move. I have checks, but they don't do anything. My knight's hanging now. Knight here, they just go here. And my knight's trapped. I think I just go back to c5 with my knight, I think. It seems like a good move. And then I'm threatening a fork. I'm threatening a fork with knight to b3. They have to step the king over. But if they do step the king over, I have pressure on this. Now I have a check though, and they can't really do anything about the check. They cannot go to d2, they have to go here. If I could only remove this knight, I'd be able to take here. If I take and the knight takes, I have a check. But the king is completely fine. I think I could play a5 here, which seems quite good. My bishop's very strong. I can go check, which seems good, but I don't see what my knight goes after. So check if bishop takes. I just take. Well, I could go here to attack this. Maybe check is good now. The king moves. But if the king moves, I'm doing very well. I think bishop here is good. Just targets this pawn. The bishop can't really move anywhere. I like bishop to d3. I think check maybe is better, but I'll play bishop d3. Threatening to take the bishop now. My one is protected. Threaten to take, if they recapture, I have a check. And if they do move the bishop, I just take here, I think. And then these pawns are extremely weak. They can defend that way. But I think they actually, not blunder here, but... So if they take with the rook, my checks aren't really that good. Here they just take. Here if they take, I can take. Wait, so here they take. I take with the rook. Maybe knight to a4 is actually a good move. I'm removing a defender of the bishop. Forcing a trade, and then I win this pawn, I think. Knight to a4 is a wild move. They can take, but then I take here. If they recapture, I take. And I win a piece. It's an even trade. And then I'm attacking this. I mean, knight to a4 seems good. If they step the king over, I just take. If they don't take, king can go here, they just take. I can force this trade. They have to take. They step the king over. Did not expect that. I can take here and they have to take. Then I can just go back. Can't really defend this bishop anymore. If I give check, they can just... Yeah, I think the way... if I go here, they just take. Nah, they can't take a pawn because they just take. I'll simply take the rook. They have to take. And I can go back. Yeah, I have to go back. It's not a choice. I have to go back. So if I go here, they can tempo my bishop. I'll probably go here. The knight can actually jump in now, which is very annoying. They don't have back rank mate, because my rook is here. These pawns are very strong now, and I have to attack them. They can push. If I go here, they can push. I could go here now to just blockade. And if they come in, I have this. Can also bring the bishop behind the pawn, which could be quite good. Now I'm not sure what to do. If I play rook d8, they can actually come in. They can come in and push. I think knight back is best. I always have rook d8. Maybe my idea is to bring the rook to c8 and attack this very weak pawn. At the moment I am seeing that I also have this move, a5 or a6. The knight can't move anywhere. So I cannot push because they just push. I can go for this. I think rook here is best. Rook c8, if they push, we just take. Rook c8, I am threatening to take. But I take, they push. I have to go here and I lose the piece. I have to play, I can't touch these pawns at the moment because it would not end well for me. I think I just make room for my king. They push. I can't touch these pawns at the moment. If they push, I mean, it's gonna be very hard to stop these, but I've just blocked my own bishop in. And they come in with this move. I think I have this. Yeah, I mean, rook d8 is the only move here. I think I can't play anything else. I could play this. But then I lose this. Rook d8 is the move. I have to bring my bishop into the game. They push, we can take and play here. Checks don't work at the moment. I can't move the knight, I just end up trapping my rook. I have to take. Take. Here. I mean, no other squares for my knight, maybe here. I can pin, but then they just take, but then I take. I feel like I'm actually losing quite a lot now. So pin, they take. Pin, they can't take, but they can take this way. I pick up this, the king can move. I think the king is completely fine, so knight here they push, but then I take. Knight here if they trade, they can push. I mean, I think they have to take. If they push, I take. If they push, I can probably attack the rook. They go for this. Wow, I actually can't take because if I go for this check, if I go here, they can actually push the king. If I take, they promote. And then I've lost the game. So I cannot take. If I go here, they can push. But if I go here, if they push, I just go here. So this is actually not so simple. It's very complicated, I think. Because if I go here, they cannot push. If I go here, they also can't give a check. I'll go here. I have to bring my bishop in to defend this square. And then my king. I'll bring my king and start threatening these pawns. Although I'm up a pawn, these C and D pawns are just so powerful. The king comes in, I don't think that's the best. I have a check, but the king comes here. This square is very weak. I don't see what else I have though. The king comes in this way, which I do not think that's good. These aren't dark squares, so I can't do anything about them. I could push if king takes. I don't have check. I have check now, but it doesn't achieve anything. Yeah, I think check now is just not good. They push and I'm lost. I don't see what moves I have. I'm just completely losing here. I cannot remove this rook. If we go into this trade, they just promote. I'm completely lost here. They can actually just push and fork, and I've lost. So that was a blunder from me. They can just push d7. They actually choose to take, which walks into a fork. So if I take, I get forked. If I take this way, they can just push. But then I have a check. But then I'm still completely lost. Yeah, I have a check, but it doesn't give me much. So if I go here, they can't push. They actually can. I mean, they just promote here. And they've won. If they make a queen, it's actually almost checkmate. I probably had to go to f7. No, e7. They do make a queen. My only square is here anyway, so I mean they can just do this now. And they'll have a second queen. If they queen now, they've just won the game. I mean, stepping up doesn't do anything. They make 2 queens, so yeah, they just promote. They pick up the pawn anyway, so yeah, and they can actually just push this now, and they've won the game, so they could literally just stop pushing here now. They've actually stopped me from making any good moves. They just cut me off, and I have no good moves. If I go to h8, I just get forced into the corner and they pick up this. This would actually be almost stalemate. I can't push, but they just take. And they have mate, so let's look at this game. My opponent played on an 82.8, I played at a 75.4. They had a blunder and a mistake, but I had 3 mistakes. I played like a 1050, they played like a 1700. So I played the Caro-Kann. Pushing c5 is good. e6 is actually the best move. I felt supporting this was important, but yeah, e5 was not that good. The queen takes. We go into this position, which I was actually doing good in. And this was a huge blunder, it just loses a piece. So I was winning here, I was up a piece. Check was okay, but yeah, I have check here. It's best to bring the rook here. I'm actually not sure why. What does rook here do? I want to see what rook e3 does. In this line I'd be completely winning. I'd have checks on the king. Bring my knight in. Very active pieces. And check is actually a mistake. I should have taken with the bishop to attack this. Yeah, taking with the rook taking with the rook forces me into a bad position, I think. I had to bring the king here to f8. f5 is a terrible move. Yeah, rook c8 was very good. Just pins this to the king. I'd be able to push. Wow, pinning this to the king was actually a very good idea, because if they play any move, I can just play b6. Although it says b6, they can just take, they can play c6, they can push, and I'm losing, so I actually had to leave the knight there and take here. Wow, really? That's a huge miss from me, and I'm completely losing here. I had to take this, because wherever they move the knight, they can't protect this. So wow, rook takes on d6 is why I missed here. By far the best move. Everything else is losing. Then their best move is c7. Their best move is c7. Mine is to take the rook c6 check. Then they have to play king to b4. And I take this way. And this is like very, very winnable for me if I can deal with all this pressure around my king. My bishop's doing a great job. I completely missed taking on d6. Instead I take the piece, which was completely wrong because of push. And bishop here is the best move. Bishop e8 early. Well, that's the best move. If they do take, they still have checkmate on the board in 24 moves. So I end up missing the idea of taking on d6 with my rook, and that loses me the endgame. That's okay. 2 games today, 1 win and 1 loss. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.